Hello, and welcome to another of InstallFree's training sessions. This is Jonathan from InstallFree, and this is the first in the series of videos exploring the advanced connection setup, which is the last phase after the basic setup and the advanced setup. Now, up till now, we have configured the InstallFree Bridge Suite to work on domain machines within your organization. But the advanced connection setup will allow you to fine-tune and configure the InstallFree Bridge Suite to work on a wide array of connection scenarios, including multi-branch deployment, access from non-domain computers both on and off-premise, and running the InstallFree Bridge on terminal servers and Citrix. And this chart, by the way, will also appear at the end of this video, and like in previous sections, you will be able to click any of the boxes in the chart according to the flowchart steps. Now, in this first video, we will enable and go over the Connection Manager, which is the key component in any advanced connection scenario. And it is the Connection Manager which enables the bridge to work across platforms and protocols in and out of the organization. And the way it does it is by instructing the Bridge Virtual Client to use different configurations associated with conditions that you can set in the IFMC. Okay, so first let's start with the initial step of enabling the Connection Manager through the Bridge Properties window. So I will expand the File Share tree, expand the System tree, right-click the Bridges branch here, and select Properties. And here under the Bridge General Properties sections, I will switch the Use Connection Manager to Yes. Now, you can read a full description of the Connection Manager down here, but generally speaking, what I just did is to instruct the bridge to let any configurations made in the Connection Manager overrule the configurations made in the main bridge properties in case the conditions set in the Connection Manager are met. And I'll show you in a second what that means. But for now, let's just click OK and go straight ahead and take a look at the Connection Manager itself. So I'll right-click the Bridges branch again, but this time I will choose the Edit Connection Manager option. So this is the Connection Manager interface, and generally what you see here is the left pane where you can access the different rules, and in this case you can see the HTTP access rule, which is added by default by InstallFree. And in the right pane here, you can see the condition form, which allows you to create the conditions you want the bridge to check. And in this case, since this is an HTTP access for non-domain computers, you can see here the condition uses the object domain. After it, you can see the non-equal sign that I can change to an equal sign if I wanted to. And in this field, I can type my domain name. And what this expression now means is, if the domain name is not equal to my company, execute the configurations made in this tab here. And as you can see, I have here almost an identical copy of all the different variables I can configure in the Bridge Properties screen that you already know by now. Now, as you can see, all the variables here are grayed out, meaning they will remain unchanged and will inherit their value from the main bridge properties. But here you can see that the checkbox next to the file share path is marked and the field is unlocked. And this means that whatever is configured in this field will overrule whatever is configured in the bridge properties if the condition I stated before is met. And since in this case it's an HTTP access rule, then you can see the path points to my IIS server and it has an HTTP prefix. So this whole HTTP access rule here says that if the domain name does not equal my company, then the bridge should connect to this file share path instead of the one configured in the bridge properties. Okay, so now let's go over the process from start to finish and I'll show you exactly what I can do with the Connection Manager. So first I'll click the Add New Rule button here. And for now, let's imagine a scenario where all the users under the support OU in my domain are using a different file share for whatever reason. So first I will name the rule Support Users and click OK. And you can see the new rule in the list here is selected. And now before I add my actual condition, let's just briefly go over each of the conditions that the Bridge Virtual Client can check. First is the Active Directory option, which allows you to choose a specific AD object. So for instance, I can add a query that will instruct the bridge to check if the logged in user belongs or does not belong to a specific OU or group. Next, I have the Best Connection option, which checks all the file share paths available as set in different configuration tabs and connects to the one with the best connection speed, and therefore it is mostly used for multi-branch access. Under it, I have the Bridge Version option, which simply checks the Bridge Virtual Client's version. So if, for instance, a specific bridge version requires specific configurations, then I can select it and instruct the bridge which configuration it should implement on itself. The DNS option allows you to set different bridge configurations for different DNS addresses. The domain option allows you to set configurations per domain name and is usually used for configuring bridges that run on non-domain computers. Then I have the gateway option, which allows me to set configurations that will take effect when logged on from a range of gateway addresses, and the same goes for the IP address option. And down here, I have the OS version option, which allows you to create configurations that exclude or include specific OS versions or a range of OS versions. And lastly, the subnet mask, which again is similar to the IP and gateway options. But for this rule example, I will select the Active Directory option, since, as I said, my rule concerns all the users who are members of the support OU. And you can see the Active Directory option was added here. And now I'll click the Select button here and choose the support OU. And as you can see, what I have now is a condition that states if the Active Directory object equals to the OU support, which of course includes all the members of this OU. And if this query will return a true, then the configurations I will make in the Configurations tab will take effect. Now, before I go on to the Configurations tab, I just want to go over two things here. First of all, you have this red X button next to the condition, which will delete the condition but not the rule. And you can also see up here the field labeled grade, which I will go into in a few minutes. But for now, let's switch to the Configurations tab. And again, as you can see, I have all the bridge properties options grayed out and locked. And if, in my example, I want to make sure that users belonging to the support OU will connect to a different file share, then I will check the file share path variable to unlock it, and replace the path to point to another location. So if the condition is met, the bridge will connect to this path. And of course I can also edit other related paths like the self-provisioning path and the user data path, etc. On the other hand, I will leave other paths like the local machine paths here unchanged, so they will inherit their value from the main bridge properties. But for now, let's just click Save and add another rule to show you the role of the grade field. And just for the example, I'll name this rule DNS not main branch. And this rule will instruct the bridge to connect to yet another file share when the DNS address is different than my default one. So I'll click OK here. Click the drop-down, select DNS, switch the equal sign to non-equal, and type in the address. And in the Configurations tab, I'll again choose a new path to connect to as long as this condition is met. So I'll click Save again. But notice that now we have two conflicting configurations, as this previous rule here regarding the support OU has this file share path, And on the other hand, my other rule regarding this DNS has its own file share path here. And the question is, of course, which rule will be used in case both return true. So basically, the connection manager reads the rules file from top to bottom, and the first query, which returns a true message, is the one that wins over the others. On the other hand, the bridge checks the rules for each active network adapter on the machine, and this is where actual conflicts might arise. For example, if I have a number of IP address-based rules, then conflicting rules might be applied per adapter IP. This is why we need to tell the bridge which of these rules is more important. So if different conditions return true, only one configuration will take effect. Otherwise, I'll of course have a configuration conflict. And for that, I use the grade field. So let's say that the support OU rule should overrule the DNS rule. So what I'll do is I'll go to the support OU rule, give it a grade value of, for instance, 100, and click Save. And now I'll go to the DNS rule, give it a grade value of 90, and click Save again. And the result will be that the support OU rule with the Active Directory condition will overrule the DNS rule with a conflicting configuration. And by grading my rules in skips of 10s, I actually allow myself to grade future rules somewhere in between if I need to. Okay, so this pretty much concludes this video, and now you are welcome to follow the decision flowchart and select the next step according to your needs, or select the appropriate videos from the description box. Thank you all for watching.